say is that I'm expecting great things from our drivers this season. We all are. Just don't let yourselves down.
And no worries, Dad, we're all over it.
Good man, I'll fly out to Bahrain as soon as I can. Ciao.
How about this brand new team entering the grid this year, Connor Sport? 2 young rookie drivers and even a young team principal. Aidan Jackson and Gary Owen fill the team slots for this year, as they both had 2 wins in Formula 2 last year and finished 2nd and 3rd in the standings.
It's a bit controversial how the team got here, considering Andretti was given the cold shoulder for so long.
And here we were on the grid in Bahrain for the big team reveal. In pre-season testing, 11 teams on the grid for this 2025 F1 season, as I partner up alongside Aidan Jackson as we try to take this brand new team of Connor Sport to the front of the grid in what is likely to be a multi-season project, as you see myself side by side with Jackson as we go up against one of the most stacked rookie classes in F1 history. Who's going to come out on top? Hopefully it's going to be us. Hello everybody and welcome to the F1 25 career mode that I didn't think was going to happen on this channel, and then it turns out that they actually made a pretty dang good game, and I was quite shocked to say the least. I've been having a blast. I said, okay, the motivation's back, we're here. Connor Sport, 11th team to Formula 1, which really shouldn't have happened. Andretti has been trying for seasons to get into F1, and they've been given the cold shoulder year after year. Connor Sport comes in and has no problem. They brought the money, the funding, the sponsorship, and here they are on the grid. They called Aidan Jackson, they called me as well, and we are coming up, both of us, from Formula 2 with 2 wins on the season in 2024 for both of us, and as well Jackson finished 2nd in the standings, myself in 3rd. It's a long season of racing and it all kicks off down under in Australia. One of the best starts to a season you can have with the Australian Grand Prix here from Albert Park. Very excited to get on track for this one as we come through into practice to kick off this 2025 season. As you see us getting all prepared with their brand new helmet. Love this actually livery of this helmet and the colors. It just works so well. The only thing you can't do is I can't take the sponsors off the helmet, which sucks. Is we got our team principal of Devin Butler actually getting us kind of warmed up there in the car and getting ready to head out on the racetrack. Connor Sport has big aspirations here, not only in Formula 1, but other motorsports as well, and so do I. And I'm hopeful that we can work with Connor Sport to kind of prove what F1 drivers can do outside of Formula 1 cars and take it into other motorsports such as rally or IndyCar, NASCAR, etc. Stuff all over the planet. Supercars, which is right here in Australia as well, as we were ready to head out onto the racetrack now as we get underway here for our first lap of practice and trying to find the limit. And this was kind of when I was realizing, you know, just how much better this game is. The handling is significantly better in F1 25 compared to 24. The AI is a lot more aggressive, a lot racier. The terrains don't really exist anymore, which is fantastic. Graphically, the game has stepped up. I mean, they have done nothing but improve on this game compared to the previous game, which I really didn't see coming. I had no hope for F1 25, and I can gladly say that, you know what, they proved me wrong for maybe the first time. So, gotta give credit to the developers on this one here as we were getting acclimated with the car, and actually was very quickly finding some good comfort in this car. So that was promising. Not quite sure what that's necessarily going to mean for actual pace and qualifying or in the Grand Prix. I was running 107 AI for this opening round, and in the R&D table we do have the worst car on the grid. So this is not going to be an easy rookie season as we have so many rookies on the grid. Of course, maybe the biggest one, Kimi Antonelli, coming up to Mercedes, replacing Lewis Hamilton, who is of course moved over to Ferrari. Yuki Tsunoda getting the call up to Red Bull here to kick off this season as well. It's going to be very exciting to see what he can do alongside Max Verstappen. Liam Lawson over here at VCarb alongside Isaac Hadjar as well. You got Gabriel Bortoleto. There's so much excitement around this season of rookies and who's going to shine, who is going to be maybe a little bit lackluster as well. You got Ollie Behrman at Haas. I mean, we're just going through so many rookies as we head down into qualifying now in Q1, and I really wasn't expecting to get through Q1 just based off of where we are stacked up in the R&D. So whatever happens, happens. This first qualifying session, I don't really put a lot of pressure on myself. It's more just kind of getting a feel and then seeing where we are. And my first lap here in Q1 was pretty bad. We're going to head down this front straightaway and we're going to cross the stripe, and it's going to be the slowest of anybody behind fellow Canadian of Lance Stroll. And how about Antonelli down there in P20? So we would have to make another lap late in the session to see if we could find any improvement now, as we'll head down into turn number 1. Aiden Jackson, my teammate there, P18, just in front of the Kick Sauber machine of Nico Hulkenberg, as we immediately find some improvement, and I had improved by about half a second before I had even completed the first sector. So that was definitely confidence boosting as we continued on throughout the lap through the chicane, and we're up to 6-7 tenths of a second of a gain now. If I could find maybe a few more tenths, I'd be quite happy. I still don't think it's going to be enough to get through to Q2, but nonetheless, we have immediately found some improvement through these final few moments of this qualifying session. And as we head down into the final turn, got to be careful here to not get on the throttle too early, too hard, but 8.5 tenths of a second, about 9 tenths of a second gain, only enough to increase us by 1 position. P21, you kind of see the look of disappointment on me there. Not exactly what I wanted, but you know what? I mean, at the same time, our first qualifying session, worst car on the grid. You know, we're learning. So P21, Aiden Jackson, P18, Sainz out in the Williams, Dooman as well at Alpine, and Antonelli can only manage P20 on debut. Probably the biggest disappointment of qualifying as we get ready to go into round 1 here in Australia.
The winter is over. It's time for Formula 1 2025. Yes, that long break that you've all been coping with so well can now be put to the back of your minds. It's on-track action and it's off-track drama. That's what we're looking forward to. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 14 corners and 3.28 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles per hour. The close proximity of the barriers make accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Piastri, Tsunoda, Charles Leclerc, and Hamilton, Russell, Albon, Lawson, and Esteban Ocon, Gasly, Hadjar, Fernando Alonso, and Hulkenberg, Bortoleto, Sainz, Aiden Jackson, and Ollie Behrman, Antonelli, Golden Boy, Stroll, and Jack Doohan rounds off the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Race 1 of the season, and we already have Jack Doohan taking a grid penalty, as you can see. One-stop strategy is what we're going for. Starting on the mediums, we'll switch over to the hard compound tire. Very straightforward here as we get ready to roll for the formation lap here from the Australian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen on pole position.
So as the formation lap gets underway here for the first time this season, each driver will be wanting to make an impactful start to their season by earning those crucial points and getting a confidence booster right from the off.
We see a mix of strategy here. The pair of McLarens on hards. You got Leclerc splitting with his teammate of Hamilton, hards for him, mediums for Hamilton, as you see the rest of the strategy.
So as all the cars reform the grids, the drivers will be hoping to get a strong start. They'll want to earn some valuable points from today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring the planned strategies are all in place.
Right, guys, just want to say thank you to everybody for the hard work over the off-season. It's a pleasure to be, you know, one of the guys you've chosen for this team, and thank you, Devin, and everybody over there at Connor Sport. I'm ready to prove you guys that you made the right decision.
Looking forward to this season, mate. It's all about learning. Let's have fun.
And there you see Jack Doohan coming up to the back of the grid, and we are ready to go racing. The start of our F1 career begins right here, right now. It's gonna be lights out, we're racing. 2025 Formula One action is underway. Max Verstappen, 4 consecutive world championships, but it's looming. McLarens that seem to be stronger coming into the season, as immediately you see them fighting. Piastri through on Norris into second. Can Verstappen go 5 in a row, or will we see it go a different way this season now? As you see Yuki Tsunoda settling in here in his debut for Red Bull now as well. Side by side in the back there is Fernando Alonso trying to get through, and he manages to do so over, I believe that's Isaac Hadjar in the V-Carb. Now 29 laps of racing here. We've settled in immediately, gaining 1 spot over Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin. So up to P20, just behind Kimi Antonelli there in that 19th position as we head down that long sweeping straightaway. Now using up some battery, as I have been a bit concerned coming into this weekend about our straight line speed. It hasn't quite seemed to be the greatest now as we head through this back straightaway chicane. Ollie Behrman there in P18. So excited to race head to head with this rookie class this season. Now I'm not sure how much we're going to get to do of that considering how far our card is down in R&D, but I think as we continue of course to progress throughout this season, I mean, we're going to find ourselves in a pretty competitive situation, hopefully now, as we complete this first and opening lap here, as we start lap 2 of 29. You're going to see some differing strategy. 1 stop, 2 stops, certainly an option as well. I'll be curious to see which one's going to be the quickest. I really do believe the 1 stop's going to be the best option here, so that's definitely what we're going to be sticking with. As you can see on the track map, Verstappen has already opened up one heck of a gap, and now Lando Norris going around the outside of Piastri into the chicane. He takes P2. Piastri at home drops to the 3rd spot on the nose of Charles Leclerc. Speaking for losing positions, we're on that list as well. Here comes Lance Stroll at us. As you can see on the right bottom of the screen on the speedometer and the battery, I've already used up a lot of my battery and have left very little to use throughout the lap now. As you can see, this little 4-car battle we've got going on in front of us. Kimi Antonelli's been putting some pressure on the back of Ollie Behrman, but hasn't been able to complete a pass, and it's stacking all of us up here. Antonelli right now going around the outside of Ollie Behrman. Can't make it happen. Behrman, defensive masterclass right off the bat here from Melbourne. Now 2 rookies going at it as we slip and slide around the racetrack now, as we come through to lap 5 at this point, and it's the same song, second verse. I mean, Antonelli's planted behind Behrman, but can't quite complete the pass, even with the assistance of that DRS. Opening that rear wing gets him to Behrman, gives him an opportunity, but Behrman seems to have Antonelli covered now, as here comes Charles Leclerc around the outside of Piastri, who drops to 4th. Not a great start for Oscar Piastri, who was 2nd on the exit of turn 1 on the first lap. Now down to P4. Verstappen over 2 seconds in front of Lando Norris. Antonelli, Behrman still battling it out side by side, and a Mercedes should be able to clear this Haas with no issues, but he can't quite make it happen now. Antonelli's struggling in his first race here in Formula One. They continue wheel to wheel. However, I mean, you can see right there, it's just not happening. Behrman is just really keeping Antonelli kind of controlled right now, as here comes Jack Doohan completely catching me off guard. Up my inside, we send it into the corner. Stroll trying to make a look at Antonelli's. I slip and slide, we save it, but my goodness, we are struggling. The racing is a bit wild here in these opening moments, and now Doohan, oh, he's gonna slide across my nose right there. Shut the door as we drop down to the last spot. That was just me getting caught off guard that entire way through. And Jack Doohan, I mean, he just pounces on it. So he goes up to P21. We are at the back of the grid. Some work to be done, and the battle between Antonelli and Behrman has really pushed us all backwards now as well, which has not been helpful. Oscar Piastri, engine gone, race over at home for the Australian. You have to wonder if that's why he was fading in these early laps, as there was an engine issue all along. Worst start possible to, I mean, beginning your season at home, coming off of course, your wins in 2024, the potential to maybe fight for a championship, and it starts off on the wrong footing. China is going to be crucial for Piastri next episode to kind of, hit that mental reset and say, hey, I'm still here very much so at the top of my game now. But this, is great for Lando Norris, of course, now as he is trying to run down Max Verstappen as we're already approaching lap 10, coming to lap 9, and we're still within the DRS of Lance Stroll, who's been overtaken by Jack Doohan in the Alpine. Kimi Antonelli there in P18 still cannot get past Ollie Behrman. It is just not working out for Antonelli right now. Very much so the most underperforming driver and underperforming rookie of the day. Here he goes right now. He actually makes the pass just about, but once again, he was getting overtaken, I should say, by Jack Doohan right there. So he loses another spot. Verstappen now pits from the lead of this race, and he puts on the hards off of the medium. So my expectation is that's a two-stop strategy for Max Verstappen as Norris stays out, and so does just about everybody else except for Nico Hülkenberg and Esteban Ocon. They both came into the pits for mediums and hards, and that gains us, of course, 2 positions at least for now. But they're going to run us down pretty quick. Ocon's only just under 5 seconds behind myself, and we are still stuck in this whole mix of cars battling right here. And here you go, Lance Stroll now to the outside of Antonelli, who just continues to fade now as they continue side by side. Now, as who's going to come out on top of this one? Is it going to be the Canadian of Stroll or the brand new Italian on the grid? It's close quarters racing, none of them willing to back out of it now. Antonelli slides a power slide through the final corner. That opens the door for us to maybe spice things up, but we just simply don't have enough raw power in our engine, and they're able to get back out in front of us as we head down into turn 1, and now we go around the outside of Antonelli, who had to lift there for the back of Lance Stroll. Thank you very much. We have made a pass on a Mercedes, not exactly what we expected. Antonelli shows the nose but doesn't commit to a move. Esteban Ocon into the conversation now as well, and we're already not far away from our first and only pit stop of the day here now, as well Bortoletto has made his first pit stop. So if you've already pitted, you are committing to a 2-stop. So Ocon, Bortoletto, Hülkenberg, Verstappen, they're all 2-stopping this race, and we still might see another few drivers before this all plays out and it's all said and done, as we're up to the back now of Lance Stroll. And now to lap 12, looking on the right side, my tire icon comes on. We had actually really worn our left rear tire, so my pit window was lap 13, but I wasn't fully comfortable going another lap, so I'm gonna come in a lap early, and we'll come in and get the hards on. You can see us slipping and sliding a little bit now, but we'll get in, we'll get the hard compound tire on, we'll go to the end of this race, and hopefully we can just kind of keep that left rear tire specifically under control. It's actually have a late turn in right there, not ideal. Estimated pit stop time is going to be 3.2. It ends up being 3.2. It's like the NASCAR Heat 5 game. The estimated time always ends up being the exact time as we head back onto the racetrack. So all the way at the back, Ollie Behrman's just made a pit stop. He's up there about 5 seconds down the road as we go a little bit wide on the exit of turn number 1. I believe Behrman's 2-stopping this race, based off of being on the mediums on only lap 13. As you can see now at the end of this lap, Tsunoda, Hamilton, Russell all into the pits as well. Norris still on the racetrack here. Albon up to P2, but he as well still has to pit. I think we're going to find out right here, right now, if the 2-stop is better than the 1-stop, because Norris is committing to 1, Verstappen is committing to 2. We passed Lance Stroll. Look at that. By pitting 1 lap before Lance Stroll, we are able to get clear by a couple of seconds on the fellow Canadian there. So that shows you how much of a difference 1 lap can make on fresh tires. Now a lap later, Antonelli, Doohan, as well as Ocon, all exiting the pits. We'll get past Antonelli. We'll get past Doohan into turn 1. Sorry, that was not Ocon. That was our teammate, Aiden Jackson, right here in front of us. He was well clear of myself before the pit cycle, so that shows you right there by 2 laps pitting earlier. The undercut, at least right now, early in the season, all these cars, of course, not fully developed to their max potential. There is some serious potential here for some undercuts, but unfortunately, Jack Doohan, I mean, runs me down and breezes past me again. He was 22nd at the start of this race, and he is carving his way through this grid. As we continue to watch him now, he's going to put some pressure on the back of my rookie teammate as well, of Aiden Jackson. Couldn't quite make anything happen here now as we come to lap 16, already halfway through this Australian Grand Prix, and you can see on your track map, Lando Norris there, he's still out in front, hasn't pitted yet, as now here goes Doohan around the outside of Aiden Jackson. Up in a P17 goes Doohan. Jackson drops to 18th. We've got Lance Stroll just behind. Antonelli down in 21st, 3 seconds back. You have to wonder, is there an issue right now with that Mercedes? Because, I mean, that is just, I mean, inexcusably slow. I mean, there's no excuse for that for Antonelli. It's just horrible. And he continues to struggle as this Grand Prix continues to progress, as we're closing in already towards the final 10 laps of this race now. And at this point, I mean, we've learned pretty quickly, as Norris now makes his first and only stop of the day, but we've learned pretty quickly that it's hard for me to pass because we just don't have enough raw speed in this Connor Sport machine. So I was just kind of banking on staying in the DRS of my teammate. As Verstappen breezes by into turn 1, Norris will come out in P2 just in front of the Ferrari of Leclerc. How about Liam Lawson there in P4? He still has to come into the pits, however, as well. Same for Isaac Hadjar, but currently both V-Carbs up inside the top 10. As you can see, Jackson, he's kind of in the same boat as me. Not enough raw power in the engine here for Connor Sport to go up and attack Jack Doohan, for example. He's just kind of staying put behind him, even with the DRS. So right now, we really need to focus, I think, on powertrain going forward. As Max Verstappen now pits for his second and final stop, he's already lost the lead to Norris, and Leclerc is going to go through into the second position as well. So right now, Verstappen, of course, is going to be on the attack for the final 10 laps of this Grand Prix, but he's down in P3 and a lot of time to make up, as you can see on the track map. Norris is coming up to the end of Sector 1. Verstappen's just heading down towards turn 3, so he had some work to do. The question is, can he get it done? Is the tire difference that important? As now Jackson, right in front of us, our teammate at Connor Sport, blows up in his rookie debut here from Australia. Our teammate is done. Is that something I need to worry about?
Not sure, to be honest with you. Just keep pushing here.
So, you get the word from Mark right there, just keep pushing. I mean, we've only got 9 laps to go when we come back to cross the stripe, but 2 mechanical failures on the day. One being, of course, Oscar Piastri early in the Grand Prix, and now, of course, Aiden Jackson. Now a second pit stop's underway for Gabriel Bortoletto. So you're going to see things kind of kicking off here now as well. Nico Hulkenberg has made a pit stop. Carlos Sainz, others, and that has moved us into P13 as well, Esteban Ocon. So because of those drivers making 2 pit stops, we have gained quite a few positions now, and really are running way better than what we should be. But suddenly, I mean, there's a real chance to kind of maintain. Ollie Behrman now into the pits for his second stop. That moves us up to P12 with less than 10 laps to go in this race. And the 1 stop is proving to be mighty compared to this 2 stop. I mean, Lando Norris is on cruise control compared to Max Verstappen as we come to lap 24. And unfortunately for me, I mean, Esteban Ocon's got great pace right now. The Frenchman in the Haas coming up on the back of me now with the DRS, and I just couldn't quite keep contact with Jack Doohan. So through goes Ocon, but I mean, we've got nearly 5 seconds on Isaac Hadjar with 5 laps to go. I'm pretty confident we can maintain, as Lando Norris is 14 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen. I expect that gap to come down just because of the tire difference, but it's not going to be enough for Verstappen to win the Grand Prix, which he was controlling before the 2-stop strategy kicked off. Lewis Hamilton in P3 in his debut for Ferrari, as he's ahead of his former teammate and former car, George Russell and Mercedes. Tsunoda on Red Bull debut, P5, Leclerc P6, Albon, Lawson, Alonso, and Gasly. How about that? rounding out the top 10 here. Now is actually, here comes Liam Lawson for a move around the outside of Albon, who tries to fend him off. I don't think it's going to quite work out right here. Lawson's going to get the job done up to P7 over Albon, and Alonso right there in P9, ready to pounce if need be. As Jack doing Ocon, myself there, the next few cars in front of Isaac Hadjar, Antonelli P15, the 2-stop that he didn't commit to is helping him get a little bit further up the running order there, as you see Hulkenberg, Sainz, Stroll, Behrman, Bortoletto all behind as we come into the final few laps of this Australian Grand Prix here now, and it's all in control for Lando Norris. He's just hoping he doesn't suffer the same fate that his teammate of Oscar Piastri had, of course, early in the Grand Prix. I myself was really pushing to try and to stay in DRS range of Esteban Ocon, because I could see Jack Doohan was starting to fade. He was starting to struggle, and over these last few laps, we do maintain DRS on Esteban Ocon, who is now within DRS of Jack Doohan. So suddenly we've got a chance here to maybe fight with Doohan before this race is over. Speaking of fights, Russell gets through on Tsunoda right there as they were battling it out, and then just a few moments later, Leclerc is going to go around the outside of the Japanese driver. Charles Leclerc into P5 over Tsunoda, who drops to P6. Hold on, this might not be over quite yet. Yes, it is. That medium tire outpowers that hard tire. A lap later with 2 to go, Leclerc makes a move on Russell, where Russell made the move on Tsunoda a lap prior, and into P4, making it a Ferrari 3-4 as Russell drops to P5 with 2 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Unfortunately, I just didn't have enough pace in this car to be able to really do anything at this point as we were coming to the final lap. Nico Hulkenberg managed to get up to P14 by the final lap of this Grand Prix, but at this point now I'm looking to drain my battery. I did save my battery for a good 3 to 4 laps, and I mean, like, not even using it at all for a final lap push. But Lando Norris, out of the final turn, down the front straightaway, is going to come through to win the Australian Grand Prix, kicking off the season the right way.
Well done, guys. Unbelievable job.
How about it? Lando Norris, as we're slipping and sliding, trying to hang on to this Connor Sport machine. Our tires are worn, net left rear at 61% as we come up on these final few corners now. Doohan will hold off Ocon, who will hold off myself down the front straightaway on debut. It's going to be P13. We didn't have a 13th place car, but the one-stop strategy was enough to get us a better result than what we certainly deserved. Right, guys, thank you. I mean, yeah, some serious work to be done if we're going to get our cars quicker, but can't complain about that one. P13, we'll take it. Let's move on to China. So then, it's going to be Lando Norris and McLaren celebrating victory here from Melbourne. Not what maybe Oscar Piastri wants to see his teammate winning at home, as you see him climb out of his McLaren. There's Lewis Hamilton there next to him from P3 to congratulate him, and Max Verstappen, of course, in P2. Probably Verstappen wins that race if he one-stops it, but obviously just the wrong strategy call from, I mean, everybody that two-stop this race made the wrong call. I can see why they made the two-stop. I mean, we saw the tire wear was quite high. My tire icon came on at the end of both runs, but we were just, you know, there was just enough laps to be able to make it work on the short side of things. So can't complain. P13 for us, I mean, just by doing the one-stop strategy, and overall a nice clean start to our Formula One career, and that's kind of what I was seeking, was a clean start, a calm start. Don't get ourselves into trouble, keep a clean nose on the car, keep all 4 wheels on the racetrack, and just make sure we do all the priorities the right way, and I feel like we did that. So you see the rest of the finishing order. How about Liam Lawson? P7, great effort for him there, and as well Alpine with Gasly there in the top 10 as you see the rest of the finishing order. Won't bother looking at the standings today, but we'll kick that off in China. I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching, and have yourselves a great day.